The bottle is almost empty.
Okay, we're done. Okay,
All right, Tasteless.
okay.
no one's gonna mute you here. So I'll tell you what, right? If we can go back to where we left off, right? If you can either refute my claim about you being an idiot, or you can make your own claim about whatever you want to talk about. We
Okay.
can have a discussion. If you can't,
First of
no,
all,
hold on, before you interrupt me, right? If you cut me off, if you not necessarily cut me off, but if you don't do one of these two things, I'm not gonna talk to you. Like
I see.
if you sit here and you waste my time, right? And you sit here and you filibuster, I'm not gonna talk to you.
Okay, so basically you're saying you're setting the rules,
Yeah, you're
and
the
your
one that wants to
rules
talk to
are
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Tasteless. I'll
Those
do
rules
something for you.
are
I'll do something
we
for
need
you, right?
to
I
yeah,
won't
sure.
interrupt you when you're actually making a point, right? We're setting ground rules. But I won't interrupt you, right? If you don't interrupt me. I'll actually sit here and I won't be a complete dick to you like I normally am because it's entertaining. Now,
Uh,
are
yeah,
you not going to interrupt me?
of course.
Okay. So now I will let you either make your point or refute what I had to say about you.
Yeah. Okay. Do you understand the difference between a subjective opinion and an objective one?
Right. So when I
You're
claim, right,
asking.
hold on, right? The point is not about whether it's subjective or objective. That's retarded. It's all
No, no,
about.
no.
It's hold on. No, now you're interrupting me, right? I let you ask your question, right? Are you gonna follow the ground rules or not?
I think I was talking, man. You
No,
were the
no, no, no.
one
You
interrupting me.
finished the question. You waited for someone. You waited for me to respond, right? So now I'm responding. So whether
And
it's
you're not
subjective,
responding.
now you're interrupting me again. So whether it's subjective or objective is irrelevant. It's simply a claim. Whether it's subjective or objective is completely pointless because it's a claim. You asked for me to make a claim in the previous discussion. I made the claim that you are an idiot. That is all I needed to do to meet what you asked.
Are you done?
I'm waiting for you, yeah.
Okay. The difference between it is totally relevant because you're asking me to debate a subjective opinion. Ridiculous, because it's like you debating me that I like pizza. It's
Could I ask a
ridiculous.
question?
No,
It's
hold
totally
on. No, no,
ridiculous.
don't interrupt him. No.
Now, what I suggest is that you made an actual claim of yours, an intellectual one, um, have diverging opinions on the matter, and then you can defend your claim. I will defend my claim. The end. Uh, if you can convince me, I will accept gladly. If I am persuasive enough, you perhaps would.
Tasteless.
Um,
Tasteless, right?
uh,
So what is the
easy.
definition of a claim?
What is a different a statement that you did, something that you believe
Right. So
to be true,
how is what I said about you not a claim?
a subjective claim,
So
and I
what
am not
can
going
you
to
name a
change your
can you name a
opinion.
claim that's like objective and when it doesn't just come from your own brain?
That's stupid. Okay, your claim is stupid, right? Because I am not going to defend myself from you thinking that I'm an idiot. You can think whatever you want.
Then why don't you just do the second option, right, and make your claim? Why are you sitting here
Because you
filibustering still,
only,
right? Hold on,
only
you're
hey.
interrupting me again. You're interrupting me again, right?
Mhm.
I once again, right? If you don't want to talk about how I think you're an idiot, it's a claim, right? Any idiot will know that what I'm saying is a claim, whether it's subjective or objective, is irrelevant from the fact that it is definitionally a claim. By your own definition and agreement upon what the definition is, you've admitted that what I said was a claim about you. And stop the echo, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, that is a claim, and I want to
Right,
get
right.
into
So what you
debate. That
asked,
is a
no,
non-debate.
tasteless. You interrupting me again, right? You just can't help yourself.
When you're done.
You just, I will, right? But you just keep interrupting me. So once again, tasteless. I'll give you the opportunity to talk and make a claim about whatever you want to talk about, any topic whatsoever. But once again, right, you're gonna sit here and filibuster. So I'll give you one more opportunity, Tasteless, and then I'm done with you.
Sure.
So
Sure,
go
sure.
ahead.
But I am going to make a claim on any subject. We're going to make a claim, a different one, hopefully, and then we can test our ideas.
You have literally 10 seconds to make a claim, or I'm muting you.
No, no, no. I am asking you. Are you good with that?
10.
Are you?
I'm
Are
fine.
you
You need to make your claim, or you're just filibustering, right? You're wasting my time.
So the claim I am willing to make, and I think it's going to be a disagreement with you, is it's about understanding. I think that you are a pretty knowledgeable guy. I am willing to accept that. But I also don't think you understand much of what you know. Me, understanding for you is something that you don't get the grasp of the meaning
LOL,
or the
what?
concept of understanding. That is my claim. And I think you are clear about what understanding means. Now you make your claim.
I'm sorry. Let's be clear, right? What are you talking about? So here's my thing. You keep saying understanding as if I don't have an understanding. Can you provide? You weren't able to do it in the last conversation, so I'll ask you again. Can you provide me with a succinct definition of understanding?
What?
A definition of the word understanding as you are using it.
First of all, before I ask any question, or before I answer any questions of you, I want you to make your claim. I made my claim. You should make your claim, and then I'll make my case, and then you'll make your case.
Sure, you want me to make a claim? I have perfectly good understanding. In response to your claim that I don't have a good understanding of, I don't even know what, but you haven't even defined the word understanding. So can you define the word understanding, Tasteless?
Yeah, for sure. Understanding something is when you are aligned attention of the in front of you. If I recall correctly, when you and I first engaged, that understanding is not. I mean, you can divert from the intention of the author of the knowledge you are being exposed to, and you can reach a different understanding, and that would mean understood. And my claim is that since I don't think you know what understanding means.
Look, Tasteless,
So
hold on.
obviously,
Whoa. Tasteless, you still haven't defined the word understanding as you understand it, as you mean it.
Being aligned with the intention being presented in front of you.
Can someone type that in chat for me? Being aligned with the intention that is presented to you?
Presented to you, yes.
Yeah, it's just gobbledygook.
That means nothing. So like, let's look at the definition on the of understanding.
Let's see.
No. Hold on. Let's look at the
right
definition.
No.
The ability to comprehension, systematically aware of other people, having insight or good judgment. These are all definitions of understanding.
Your definition before you search it.
Why would I want to not look it up to find a good definition? The definition you gave is shit.
I could have done the same shit. I mean, we're trying to put your understanding to the test. And if you understand what understanding is,
you are just talking gobbledygook.
Give me your definition of understanding as you understand it.
You are just using, right? You're using the same word in the same sentence as itself, and you have tasteless. Hold on, your definition is meaningless. I've already given The definition, I'll give it to you again. The ability
Give
to
me your
comprehend.
definition.
Can you stop interrupting while I give the definition? The power of comprehending, the capacity to apprehend general relations of particulars. The power to make experience intelligible by applying concept or categories. This is simple, right? What did he say again? Can someone repeat back to me what he said?
Yeah, having your intentions aligned with the information that's in front of you.
Having your intentions aligned with the information that is being presented to you. How is that in any way a good definition of understanding? Because the textbook definition is completely wildly different from that.
Give me the text definition.
I literally just gave it to you, but I'll give it to you again, right? A mental grasp, the power of comprehending, the capacity to apprehend general relations of particulars, the power to make experience intelligible by applying concepts and categories. How does this have anything to do with what you read and whether or not your opinions or your intentions align?
Okay, let me ask you something, man. Your definition is in my opinion, totally wrong. Because if I'm trying to say something different than what I'm trying to say, then you are misunderstanding. Your understanding, when you read a book and your understanding differs from being presented in the book, then you misunderstood. And that's
No,
my problem
right?
with
No,
you, because I
you're
think
just using
that
it
you don't
wrong.
understand.
No, I
you can have
understand.
knowledge.
Well, okay, Tasteless, how about this, right? Even though your definition is fucking retarded, right? I'll just go ahead and agree with your definition. Now, what's your point?
Yeah, my point is, my man, that you don't seem to have a great deal of understanding.
Can you name
you have
a
knowledge.
case? Can you name a case in which I don't seem to have a good understanding of a topic or an issue?
Yeah, I remember the case
Let's
where
put this
you
put this
said,
in perfect context real quick. Name a time where he doesn't have his intentions aligned with the information presented.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. He was saying, when you read a book, your understanding of the book is understanding, and I said,
Oh
no,
my gosh.
that's misunderstanding.
Tasteless, I'm not interested
And
in
that
the
is
past.
pretty, and that,
Tasteless, I'm not interested in the
but you
past,
asked
right?
me.
Can you name? Can you name?
Don't interrupt.
Tasteless. Can you name a
Don't.
time in which
Did you
on a?
say that?
No, you're not. You're not listening to the question that was asked, right? You're just not answering.
You asked me for an example.
Right,
where
an
you have
example,
shown,
right? An example is
yeah,
not a case, right, in the past where you used or you did not define your term in that case and then lied. No, and when you lied about what things meant. So when
What?
we're using, hold on, Tasteless. So there's no intent of the reader that I have misunderstood here, Tasteless. When you and I used two different definitions 6 months ago to state whether or not about anything about misunderstanding books, right? When you're using two different definitions and talking past each other, it's meaningless. The fact that you don't use the common definition of what's in the textbook means that any fucking Joe Schmo could easily not able to comprehend what you're saying. Because you're not using the normal definition. So when you don't define what your word is, what your different definition is beforehand, how in the fuck is anybody supposed to be able to comprehend what you're saying?
Do you remember saying that if you read a book, you can end up with a different understanding? And I said, no, man, that is misunderstanding. And you said, no, because my understanding is that. And I said, hey,
Tasteless, I just explained to you,
don't
right?
interrupt me.
I just explained to you, Tasteless.
Hey, dude, let me say what I'm going to say. And then you said that it didn't matter for you to divert from the intention of the author. Seem to have like a grasp of what the information to you, and I said that is exactly the problem, and that you're showing exactly that you don't understand, because the minute that you divert from of the knowledge presented in front of you, then you are misunderstanding it.
Look, tasteless,
The
right?
objective of the knowledge.
No,
This is all
Seth,
valid.
Seth, please. So let's be clear, tasteless. What happened,
Yes.
right, in that case was I asked for your definition of understanding. You refused to provide it in the past, right? Let's not lie.
No,
Hold on,
you
tasteless,
are
right?
not.
I agreed not to interrupt you, right? When you asked me not to interrupt, I didn't. So don't interrupt me now. So tasteless. In that case, you did not define what you meant by understanding. So I thought, right? Any fucking reasonable person, as I said before, thought you would think you would be using the textbook definition. So under the textbook definition, you're dead wrong because you're misunderstanding. What you don't understand, right, is how two people with different definitions end up talking past each other. It's not that I don't understand you, it's that you're too dumb to define your term and make it clear what you fucking mean, right? Hold on and don't interrupt me now. So now I'll make it really clear to you, right? In that case, what you were saying was definitional, but you weren't providing said definition. So obviously, under your definition of what understanding and misunderstanding is, of course you have to be aligned with the author's intent in order to understand it under your definition. But if anyone is using the regular definition, like everyone else in this call or in this server would think that any normal person would use, you're dead ass wrong.
Okay, okay. So you're basically under your definition, you're right. Now, your definition, okay, I ask you, and that's what I mean. I want to know if you understand. The same way you ask me questions, if I know some shit to be something, and I answer you, I give you my understanding of your questions, and you asked me to provide a definition for understanding. I did in my understanding, and then I asked you the same thing, and you went running to search for a
What are you
definition.
talking about?
And what I wanted to know, what I wanted to know is for you to, with your understanding, give me a definition coined
That's ridiculous, right? That
that
it's a
that
nonsensical statement because what you just asked me,
reflects what you
hold on,
think
what you just asked me, right,
understanding
was
is.
with my understanding of the author. Can you please tell me what my understanding of the author is? That's retarded. That's nonsensical.
No, no, no,
You're using. Here's the
no.
problem. Hold
I don't
on.
think you're. I don't think you're
Tasteless,
following.
tasteless. Here's the problem, right? You're using the word interchangeably in two different points in your sentence to mean two different
No,
things
no,
to try to throw me off. I'm not a fucking idiot, right? So I know what you're
no, no,
trying to do.
no, not at all. I am just stating a basic thing. I mean, I don't think you understand. Um,
What do you mean by
do
understand,
something.
tasteless? Do you mean I don't
Yeah.
understand the opinion of the author?
No, no, not just that. If you give me, for instance,
Under
if
your
I ask
definition,
you
that's the
anything,
only thing you can be saying, right? Under your definition, the only thing that you could be saying when you said I
yeah,
misunderstand is that I don't understand the intent of the author. If you're trying to say
exactly.
something else, tasteless, like you literally
I
just said, "Hold on,
mm,
tasteless." I said,
no, you're
you're
not
you're
letting me
being
speak.
recorded. You're being recorded, right? You just said in the recording that it means something else
And that's
additionally.
exactly right.
And if it means something
No,
else
no.
additionally, then you're deviating from your definition, you fucking moron.
Okay. In
Tasteless,
short,
have you ever heard of vacation?
I'm sorry, Crystal. Let me address this. In short, I want you to be the author of your definition, of your understanding. When I ask you something, I want you to give me, I want you to be the author of that concept.
You
If
want me
you
to be the
understand,
author of the intention of my own authorship? That's retarded
I'm
once
not
again,
done. I am
tasteless.
not done. I am not done. If I ask you what you understand about a certain concept, I want you to give me your understanding and your definition about that concept. What you do is you run and you search in Google in order for you to find what a definition suits you, and that's what I mean, that you don't show you don't show understanding. When you understand something, man, you're able to rephrase it and to explain it in your own words. You don't need to go to
Right,
Google
tasteless.
in order to
Sure,
provide.
sure, sure, right. So the reason why I go to Google is to be accurate because I care about saying something other than just stating words out of my own
Yeah,
fucking Hold on, hold on. Hold on, right? So I can give you many, many different ways I can reword it however you'd like, right? The ability to grasp concepts, the ability to fucking think for yourself or be able to understand what the fuck is going on. When someone asks you a question, the ability to respond without being a dumbass, right? The ability to respond to a yes or no answer with a fucking yes or no, or yes or no question with a yes or no answer, right? These are all things that come about understanding. The ability to
I see.
grasp what the other person is saying. You want my understanding of the definition of understanding, right? But under your own definition, that's nonsensical because you're asking for my intention of the author while I'm being the author of the own intentions, right? That's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, which shows me that you don't understand. I
Oh
mean,
my
I am asking
lord.
you. Yeah, that's
I
true.
literally just gave you, dude, my
My
understanding of the
definition
word
does not
understanding.
conflict. My man,
Holy
my
shit.
definition does not conflict. I am asking you for you to give me your understanding of a certain concept, and you have to run to Google to search a definition because you're not sure, or because you don't feel confident about your own understanding, and that's what I'm saying.
Tasteless, right?
And
Can you
that,
give me
yes,
your definition of IQ? Your understanding of IQ.
yeah, uh, IQ, not IQ, but intelligence. You mean, right?
Can you give me your
The
understanding?
intelligence.
Hold on. Can you give me your understanding of what the test is? The IQ test.
The IQ test, well, it is a test in order to measure, it is a test designed in order to measure of intelligence or brain abilities.
Which
And
brain
that's it.
abilities in particular, Tasteless?
Mathematical, logical, pattern recognition.
Right.
In some
Right.
cases,
What's wrong with
words.
IQ? What's wrong with IQ?
What's wrong with IQ?
You made the past argument, right? That IQ is a bad
Um,
measurement of intelligence.
what is wrong with IQ testing as a tool for actual measuring intelligence, the various abilities of a brain, and my claim was that it comes short, and that is not a good measurement for a full assessment of a person's
Tasteless.
intelligence.
Is an what's your understanding of a fMRI?
My understanding of
Don't go running to Google now. What's your
uh,
understanding of fMRI? I'll use the
I
same
don't.
standards you use.
No, 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 no. It's not my understanding. It's brain activity,
It's
right?
brain
It's a
activity. Can
measurement.
you be a little more specific?
No,
No, you can't be a little more
no, I
specific.
can't.
Why can't you? Do you not have a good understanding of what an fMRI is?
No, I can't.
Would you
Tell me your
would you like me to
enlighten me.
explain?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Right, an fMRI is a type of brain scan that is able to go through a number of the layers of the brain bit by bit and see whether or not someone has any abnormalities within the brain. And you can also do this by using a number of other tests. It's just an example of an FM of what it does, right? There's a CAT scan, a bunch of other kinds of tests that test the brain. But
Yeah,
can you tell me what the
what does it?
goal? Can you tell me what the goal of the test of running an fMRI is?
Oh, you're enlightening me, man. Tell me what the goal is.
All right, so since you don't have a good understanding, Tasis, I'll tell you the goal of a functional fMRI. Lord Almighty, I get these things so tongue-tied. The goal of an fMRI is to see whether or not there are any abnormalities in the brain and to see whether brain activity is actually in the places it should be and if there's something blocking it. Now tell
Hmm.
me, is this test intended to test for the entire body?
No.
No. Do you think that we should judge this test based on its ability to measure and scan the entire body?
Oh,
No, exactly. So, in the same way as this analogy, right, IQ is not there to measure every single part of intelligence, but merely the parts that you said earlier, right? Mathematical ability, pattern recognition, problem solving, right? The parts about emotional quotient and whatnot, and anything else you can name, are just not intended. And so we shouldn't be judging a test by what it is not intended to test for.
well, I think that is a great analogy, man. And I'm going to tell you why. If you were to say uh, that the fMRI is a great tool to provide you with a complete assessment of your health, it would be lame. It would be something wrong. You cannot say, "Oh, since the fMRI, I went well. I'm fully healthy." No, no, no. In order for you to really have a tool or a diagnosis about your health, you would need to run the necessary tests in order for you to be certain that your health is well. You couldn't just use an fMRI to determine the health of a
You're just
person.
repeating
In the
back
same
to me what
way,
I just said. Of
in the
course,
same way,
Tasteless. You're just
in the
repeating
same.
back to me what I just said.
Let,
Can you say
I'm
something
not done, man.
original?
Let me finish. Let me finish. In the same way, you cannot say that IQ test uh, really measures intelligence of a person. So you cannot you and that's what my claim was, that IQ test is a lame tool for measurement of intelligence.
No, right? So here's the problem that you just don't understand, right? I don't judge. Right? And as you just said, right, you were completely unoriginal in 90% of what you just blabbered on about. What I just said, right, is that a test meant to test for brain scans should not be used and tested on for the body, right? It makes no sense to judge its efficacy based on that fact. But IQ, right, has never claimed to test for every single aspect of what you have under your concept of intelligence. It has never, myself or the creators of it have ever claimed this. So when they say it's a good measurement of intelligence, right, they mean for all the things that it covers. Now I'll ask you, right, can you name anything, right, other than an EQ? I'll grant you it doesn't talk about emotion. Can you name anything other than emotion that IQ test does not accurately test for?
Yeah, well, the way the test is set, it doesn't accurately um, problems in which the life in which you would encounter problems in life. So that is one problem. I mean, you can have a problem in life, and you cannot you don't get one chance in 5 minutes, and if you don't resolve it, and then you're stupid. Of course not.
What do
That is
you
not
need?
how life
Hold on.
works.
What do you need, right, Tasteless? What are the things that a person needs? What are the skills they need and the abilities they need to be able to solve problems?
Okay. And the abilities they would need is okay. Intelligence, in simpler words, is the ability to be um, to watch to see a problem and to assess it in different perspectives in order to provide the optimal solution. So it is in life we use trial and error in order for us to reach the best solution. The more abilities your brain has, the more possible solutions you can bring into one single problem. So the way that the test is conducted, it doesn't reflect that. In fact, the way the test is conducted, it might lead to some very false results, because luck also has a place in in the answers. So
Whoa, whoa,
you
whoa, whoa!
answering
Hold on, hold on,
correctly,
hold on, hold on.
you answering
Let's
correctly with
let's not
one
shotgun.
question.
Let's not shotgun this, right? Let's not make 25 points before someone else can respond, right? So I'll go ahead and respond to the first point you made. Now, when it comes to now, does verbal intelligence and mathematical ability have anything to do with problem solving?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Does spatial reasoning, does logical reasoning, pattern
Yeah,
recognition, do these all things have anything to do with
yeah,
problem
for
solving?
sure.
Yeah, okay. So when I go and look up what an IQ test is, right? They list all of these things as part of the things that it tests for. So everything that seems to help with being able to do problem solving, logical reasoning, pattern recognition, spatial reasoning, visual perception skills, the whole list, right? All of these seem to be the major things that affect whether or not you can problem solve in the real world.
Well, yeah, Andrew, but you also don't take into
If
consideration
you use my
how
real
the
name, if you use
how
my real
the
name one more time, Tasteless, we're done.
okay, silent.
Until you give me your real name, the next time we're done. Got it?
Okay, okay, silent. Then the way the test is conducted, uh, not even close to actually be effective in measuring that, because you have a series of options, and among those options, you could choose the right answer, even though you might not know it. I mean,
Really?
it could be
Can you tell me how an IQ test is given out? Can you tell me
is
how
a
it?
what?
Can you tell me how you give out how you proctor an IQ test? How it works?
Yeah, not only that,
No, no, no.
you can
Can you tell me how it works? Can you tell me what happens when you're given an IQ test?
yeah, yeah. You are presented with a set of options. You have to answer, and you move to the next question, and
False.
then
False.
no,
False.
false.
Have you ever
Really?
taken an IQ test, Tasteless?
Yes, yes, I
Have you
have.
taken it online or have you taken it in person?
I've taken in both.
All right. So have you taken the thing with the block where you have to recognize the pattern and change everything backwards?
No.
No, right. So a really common test with IQ is you're given a block and it's made up of 9 different smaller blocks, all with different sides. And you're shown an image, right, really, really quickly, and then you're told to reverse it. Make one side the other side, or just remember it. Or can you change everything halfway, right? Can you make this kind of certain image off of all of these being jumbled up? You're given all sorts of tests, and it's all based on speed. So it's not a yes or no, right? It's based on how quickly you're able to solve it. And almost every single test in IQ is not based on a multiple choice. In fact, I don't know of a single time in which it's multiple choice. Actually, no, that's not true. There's a similar test to a Naglieri on it when it comes to pattern recognition, but usually you answer over 40, 50 questions for those. And
Mhm.
it's based on your speed. So it's also calculated in how quickly you're able to solve all the problems and move on from one problem to the next.
Yeah.
So it's not simply tasteless. Your ability to
Okay.
guess. Hold on, let me finish. It's not simply your ability to guess correctly on a multiple choice exam, right? It's
Yeah.
your ability to recognize patterns, turn them into different shapes, and use visual understanding and application, and do it quickly. None of that has anything to do with what you said, and what it shows to me, right, is that you have very little understanding of how an IQ test is given out.
No. Now let me answer you with this. Also, IQ IQ tests present you with different perspectives in order for you to solve problems. If you're not familiar with those perspectives, you're going to
Can you
get
name
a
me a
lame.
case? Can you name me a test in which you're given
Yeah,
these
yeah.
different
For instance,
perspectives?
in pattern recognition, right? If you're not familiar, perhaps with prime numbers, you wouldn't be able to solve that. But if a person is previously aware and knows numbers, they are going to be inclined
How are prime numbers relevant to an
high.
IQ test?
That if the pattern presented in front of you is pattern recognition, a set of numbers of prime numbers, you would guess that the next number according to the pattern recognition of prime numbers. But if you're not familiar with that, you will fail that to
Look, this
predict.
is what the pattern recognition tasteless. This is what it looks like, right? It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with
Now,
you being able to know, right?
now
No,
listen,
no,
listen to
hold
me.
on, hold on. It has nothing to do with
Well,
you
I'm
being
not
able to
done,
know
man.
whether or not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7. It's not relevant whether those are prime numbers or not. How is it
There are
relevant?
different
No,
types.
no. Look, it's 2,
There
1,
are different
3,
types.
2, 2, 4. Or look at the
Yeah.
placement, right? Look at the
The fact
placement and
is,
how the placement changes, tasteless.
let me answer is the Andrew. The fact is that the many perspectives in which a problem can be solved could also be talked. Okay, could also be taught knowing beforehand those different perspectives in which you can approach a problem. Very much likely, it's going to be much likely for that person to test higher in that test. Now, that is why the test can be hackable, and that
Tasteless,
is
do you
why.
understand what a raw versus a base? Do you understand raw versus like everything graduated on a gradual scale? Do you understand the difference between those two when it comes to scoring?
No, no, no.
No, right. So the reason why you're completely wrong is once again you don't understand what IQ is and then what an IQ test does. You see in an IQ test, right? You have a raw score, and your raw score is separate from your gradual score. So the way it works is you take all these tests, and the person who's proctoring the test comes up with a base score for a bunch of these different numbers, for all these different types of tests and what they apply for. And then they average it all together with your raw score, and then compare it to everybody else of your age with the same kind of knowledge, the same kind of flexibility or lack of flexibility in your brain, and then sees what the number is based on the average. What you're talking about is raw scores. And I agree that the amount of knowledge you have affects your raw scores. But that's why we average it out for all the ages compared to each other. And we're constantly editing it and making sure that 100 is actually the average for all the ages. So it's irrelevant whether or not someone can quote unquote hack the test with more knowledge of test taking skills, because they're expected to score higher. Did I just blow your mind?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So do you still think that an IQ test is hackable based on previous knowledge?
Yeah, for sure.
How so?
Let me provide you with some information.
Dude, someone please, Jeopardy theme song, for the love of God. Where's the bot?
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm only gonna do this once.
Well, I'm going to provide you some.
Am I the only one
link.
that noticed the Jeopardy theme song sounds a lot like "I'm a Little Teapot"?
Now that
Just
you
the
mention it, yeah, it does a little bit. Does IQ really mention intelligence from WebMD?
That, my man.
So do you
I
have a
also
response to
a
what I
better-
said, right? I'll read this through, or you can point me to what you want to talk about. But once
Yeah.
again, right, do you have a response to what I actually said? Like, hold on, Tasteless. Aren't you running to the internet to your Google search? Why don't
Yeah.
you just fight me with your understanding, Tasteless?
I am. but you're
No,
providing.
no, 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 no. Tasteless. I'm not going to allow you, right, to use this outside link that you searched up because you didn't like my definition of me running to a Google search. You're a hypocrite, Tasteless.
Right-wing hypocrisy exposed.
Yeah. Hold on there,
It's different.
Tasteless Destroyer.
Because when we're
from
talking
women.
about understanding, providing with some, I don't know, different information that doesn't change the fact that nothing that you're saying changes the fact. I mean, you're just saying, oh, there's this test and that test.
Well,
but that doesn't change
nothing about what you
the
said
fact.
about me being a bitch for running to Google changes the fact, right, that your
that's
definition is
different.
shit. None of it changes the fact that your
That you don't
definition is
understand.
shit, Tasteless. I can turn this right around back on you, right? Look, I'll tell you what. Tell Tasteless, I'll tell you what, Tasteless. I will let you use this in our conversation if you admit you are being a hypocrite.
No, not at all. That only shows that you don't-
Tasteless, then you're gonna have to continue without using this article.
Oh, I don't know. I don't care, man.
You don't
I mean,
care?
I
We
don't-
can end the conversation right here, or do you want to keep having this conversation?
Yeah.
You want to
I mean,
keep having this conversation, right? So I'll give you one of two options, right? You can either admit that you're a hypocrite. Hold on. You can either admit that you're a hypocrite for being pissed about me going to Google and running away like a little bitch, or you can just not use this article or any of these articles from Google. Just use your own
I
understanding.
won't use it.
Okay, you won't use it. All right, let's
It is
continue.
not the same thing, but
Let's continue. Let's continue then, Tasteless.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's
for
continue then. So do you have any kind of response to what I explained to you about how IQ is on a graduated scale?
Yeah. Let me tie in then understand how does that what you say changes anything?
It changes something, right? Because you
What
stated
changes?
that people can quote unquote hack the test by having more knowledge of like how to take tests and how to guess well, right? That's what you were saying?
Yeah.
Right. So the test expects for you to be able to do that the older you get. Okay? It's called crystallized intelligence versus fluid intelligence, right? Little kids don't take tests as well. So they're expected to get different scores than a 20-year-old. Okay? And then when they take all these test exams from the people of the same age, okay, they put them against each other and find an average for that age. And this is why, okay, people who have taken the IQ test for in 10-year, 20-year spans, check mark, and never, okay, in any of these cases in these
So-
meta studies, hold on, let me finish. And never in any of these cases in these meta studies had these people deviated for more than 5 or so points away from a previous score.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Can I
really?
just get the ultimate point here is if I'm hearing this right, the ultimate point here is that Tasteless is claiming that Silent Shadows doesn't understand IQ tests.
No.
He's claiming that IQ is a lame test of intelligence. That's his ultimate claim.
At one point, did he imply or say that you didn't understand how the tests work?
Correct. Except here I am,
Oh,
right,
shit.
explaining to him how a test works in his mind,
Don't
and
lie,
he is
don't lie,
admittedly
don't lie.
saying his mind is blown.
Hold on. Both Tasteless is here for a second. I'm with Seth here. If you don't understand how the test works while you're taking the test itself, not the stats and the math behind it, it will slow you down because you got to read the questions and figure out how to solve the problems. That's taking more time. If you're familiar with the test and familiar with the types of problems, and you've worked on them before, basically studying, you can then do those problems a little faster.
No, but Silent is saying is they take that into account. He's telling you the exact way they take it into account.
But also,
Ah.
Headless, it's also been shown, right, that you can't really coach. So there have been many meta-studies as well on IQ where people have studied for the exam.
You're not getting like 30, 40 points extra out of this. You're
No,
getting, like,
no,
extra
no one
5 or
has been
6.
able to get anything statistically significant or statistically meaningful from quote-unquote
Yeah.
being coached. That's just the way it has always been.
Oh, my argument goes like this, man. First of all, we need to understand what intelligence is, right? Now, many people think an IQ measures this genetic trait that you have, and most people with high IQ are these privileged individuals that their
Yeah, I'm much
brain
more
works
privileged
in.
than you.
Okay, now premise is the following. Intelligence is the ability to correlate information in order to provide optimal problem solving. If you're not familiar and if you're presented with a different type of problem, not able to solve it, then it doesn't matter that you're high. You test high in IQ test. The fact is that you're not showing that you are able to effectively correlate the information you have in order to provide
Tasteless, how does that
problem.
have anything to do with your claim that IQ is a bad
So,
measurement? So what you've just said,
so
right? What you've just said is that there are people, right, who even though they have high intelligence fail to solve some problems. IQ tests do not guarantee that you'll never fucking fail a problem. That's just retarded.
I don't know,
Yeah, that
but
you might as well be saying that some people with high IQ aren't ambitious and therefore don't try to solve problems. So anyway.
no, I'm not saying that. I am saying that is that, and the test does not reflect that ability, and only reflect the ability to pass a test and to score high in that test. That doesn't mean that you are intelligence is higher. It only means that you got the
Your
score.
ability to
You
problem
need,
solve is
you
is
really need.
irrelevant. Hold on, Tasteless. Your ability to problem
You,
solve
you
generally is irrelevant
very good.
from your single failure, right?
You
Like,
really need to be able to
no, no, no,
solve.
no, no, no. Listen,
In
listen,
order,
right?
if you're
Listen,
smart,
listen. You're just
you're
over
smart.
talking, right? You're not gonna let me
No,
finish
no,
my
you.
point. You're not gonna let me finish my point, Tasteless. Lantern, your keyboard, please. So, like, let's be clear, Tasteless. The individual mistake or the individual instance of where a person cannot solve a problem because they just fail to understand it or whatever is irrelevant from the IQ tests gaining your ability to overall gather problems. The person with the highest IQ ever recorded, like 220 or something, it doesn't mean that he's infallible. That's just not what the lantern, don't lantern. Whoever this motherfucker is, right? Don't cut me off. We're trying to have a one-on-one conversation, and every once in a while people get to say something, right? But don't cut one of us off. So, Tasteless, how do you have a response to the fact that the individual mistake is irrelevant from the general ability of a person to solve problems?
Okay, that is not what I said, and let me clarify. I am saying that if you get a high result in the IQ test, you need to show it needs to show that your intelligence um, is reflected parts of life, not just the test, right? Now,
Yes, your ability to
saying,
problem solve. We agree.
yeah. So you can give me and you can say and you can show that you got like 108 and 70 whatever, um, but you fail to solve the basic problems in your life, social
Right, so you're
social
talking about
situation and
EQ,
everything.
right? You're talking about
Then it
EQ, right? Your
Yeah,
social, your ability to understand social interactions, right? Tasteless, that's what you're saying.
yeah. I mean,
Right,
social
right. So
interaction.
as I already told you, right? EQ is
That
irrelevant.
goes.
As I already told you, right, Tasteless? EQ is irrelevant because it's not what IQ seeks to go under. Lantern, your keyboard, just please mute for the
But
love
if
of
you're
fucking. Hold on. For the love of fucking God, please mute as you're going to type loudly, Lantern. Thank you. Now, once again, Tasteless, as I've already explained to you, EQ is irrelevant because problem solving, specifically mathematical and logical problem solving, are not the same thing as seducing a woman to sleep with you. Those two things are completely different.
Sorry.
Okay.
Unseasoned
Well,
your
answer-
keyboard as well.
Okay, Tasteless. Both Tasteless, 1 second. All right, it's not Lantern who's doing the keyboard bashing.
It's both of them.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Look,
Yes, Lawrence.
I keep being accused of being a spy for the manhood.
Look, we're trying to
We
have a
don't care,
one-on-one
Lawrence.
conversation
Just mute yourself
here.
and let the two Tastelesses go back at it, okay?
For the love of God.
We don't care right now if you're a spy or not.
Okay, sorry.
So do you have a response?
Problems are problems, and if you have a social problem, and if you're intelligent, to manage that situation. I mean, of course, like any sort of problems that is not logical, pattern recognition, or whatever. If you are able to use concepts and different situations in order to provide problem solving, then I would say that you are intelligent. But the fact is that most people who get a high result in the test IQ does not show those traits. So the fact of the matter
Whoa,
is,
wait. Repeat yourself for the record, please?
yeah, I will try. People who show or who got a high result test in the test, most of the times show that ability in life to solve problems in life. They are usually used several, several jobs where that is required. No?
You keep
So-
cutting out.
Okay.
Look,
The
let's
idea
be
is
clear.
this.
Let's be clear, right? What you're trying to do, I see right through you. What you're trying to do is expand the concept of intelligence to fucking encompass every last thing you can get, right? So then you can look at the IQ test and say, oh, look, there's something, and look at all these things the IQ test doesn't cover. Therefore, IQ sucks. I see right through you. Right, but as I already explained to you, which you had no response to, was that the fMRI test should not be judged based on what it is not intended to test for. But you had no, of course, you agree to this. So why then would you apply a completely different standard to the IQ test?
Of course. No. I think you are. Your example is just fucking you. You know why? Because
You've already agreed that it's a good analogy. I have you on record.
The test, you're using it as a measurement for intelligence, not for certain parts of intelligence. You're using it to globalize the concept of intelligence. In the same way, it would be, or the correct analogy would be to use the results of the fMRI or whatever it's called to say that a person is healthy. And that would be wrong, and you acknowledge this,
No,
right?
Tasteless. You're strawmanning me now, right?
Could
So
you-
this is
could you
no.
imagine-
Let's. You're not
you-
gonna strawman me. You're not gonna strawman me, Tasteless. So these are all the things, right? I've only ever made clear that an IQ test covers these things: verbal intelligence, mathematical ability, spatial reasoning, visual perception skills, classification skills, logical reasoning skills, and pattern recognition skills. Now, you've said on record that all of these things are vitally important to problem solving, and that you need all these skills to be able to solve problems.
Some problem solving, yeah.
Yes. So therefore, there's going to be a correlation between IQ, this IQ test, and all of the things that it problem solves. Mic drop. Do you have anything interesting for the room before I end this conversation?
Yeah. Would you say that IQ is developable? It's developable?
What do you mean by developable, Tasteless?
IQ can be developed
What do you mean by developed, Tasteless?
in a certain level of IQ or intelligence and getting better.
I'm sorry, you cut out once again.
Okay, when you have certain level of intelligence or result of IQ, do you agree that IQ can be developable?
So I already told you, right? You can't increase your graded gradual scores significantly. What you can change is your raw score. And if you're talking about the raw score being your raw ability, then yes, of course you can, because as you get older, you gain more knowledge and more experience to help you solve real life problems. But when we put it on a Tasteless, but when you put it on a gradual scale, no, you can't increase your IQ meaningfully.
Okay, whether you can or you can't.
I literally just told you from a raw score base, right? When you're just your base ability, yes. However, when you put it all on a scale based on age, the answer is no.
So yes and no?
Oh my lord, can someone repeat this in like baby words, what I just said? Headless, can you help me out here?
No, I'm not going to help you out.
Fuck you. So Tasteless,
Sorry, I wasn't actually.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm fucking with you. Lantern. I'm not putting up with you. Lantern. I don't know who you are. Lantern, I'm gonna talk over you. Lantern. You're not gonna get to talk. You're not gonna let. I don't know who you are.
Destroyer, shush. Lantern, shut up. 400, whatever.
I don't know who you are, so you're not gonna get to talk because we're trying to talk one-on-one, and the room is trying to enjoy this. So I'll explain one more time for you, Tasteless, right? There is a base, okay, test that you take that gives you a raw score, which measures your raw ability. That you can change. However, when you put it on a gradual score, okay?
What do you mean a gradual score?
When you compare it, as I said before, as when you compare it to all the other people you are against, and you average it out where 100 is the average for people of your age, okay? You cannot increase your IQ meaningfully through studying. You can increase your raw score over time.
Okay, I think I know what's going on here. Opinion? What he's basically saying is, as a kid, you do your IQ test at an early age, and then because you go to school and you learn shit, you can do better on the test later, so your raw score goes up. But because you're older now and you've learned more stuff, your score should go up, and it's adjusted for that.
Uh-huh. Okay, so he's
But
basically
this will
saying...
continue, right? So you got to adjust for the age, because as you get older, you do learn things. Now, as you become an adult, that kind of curve starts to plateau out. But you're never getting above that raw score before the adjustment.
Okay, I would ask, why not?
Why not? I literally just told you, right? I literally just told you because when you compare it to make 100 the average, it just...
No. What is the physical impediment? What is the thing that that's from happening?
I'm not understanding what the fuck you're asking me. That makes no sense.
Okay.
I understand if you want me to explain.
Lantern, I'm gonna
cannot be
mute
done.
you, right, until we're done.
You're saying it cannot be done. That you cannot upgrade or develop your IQ, right? And I am asking you why what is the thing that prevents you from getting better?
What prevents you from getting better? Well, I already told you, right? You can increase some of these skills, but what probably prevents you is your brain.
Oh, okay, I see.
So what probably
So,
prevents you is your genetics and your brain. But I don't know
mm,
the answer to that question, Tasteless.
okay, so basically, I defer with you, man. I think in early ages of the brain plasticity is pretty high, and if you teach and you have basically two factors here. You have the brain type and the teaching methods that you use to develop to develop the abilities of certain brains. As of right now, we use only certain methods in school and whatever, but there are different types of brains, and if you match with the correct methodology for development, um, that kid or that person is going to reach a higher IQ and
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what is that?
Mute this.
Are you,
I
That,
can't.
that's lantern fish. It's just being a waffle again.
why are you doing
No.
this mad typing?
It's somebody else. I have Lantern
Oh no,
muted.
that's hobby that's hotel lobby.
Yeah, mute them all.
Really? What, guys?
Come on.
Have you got nothing better to do tonight?
Sorry, Tasteless. Continue.
so that's what I'm saying, and the fact is that it can be taught, and it can be taught, and it can be developed, as long as you present them and explain them the different types of approaches you can take to solve a problem. That is just logical. I mean, if you're not familiar, because people tend to be presented with problems that they don't know how to solve, but once you show them how you can approach a problem in order to solve it, you open another possibility,
Tasteless.
and the brain.
Do you know what the difference between crystallized and fluid intelligence is?
Yeah.
What? Is that a
Yeah.
yes? You do? So you understand then that a IQ test does not test for your crystallized intelligence. It does not test for simply your knowledge of a subject, like your knowledge of algebra, right? You can't show someone how to do an algebra problem, okay? Explain it to them and have them come and take an IQ test and do magically better. That's not what an IQ test tests for.
Well, nonetheless, man.
Well, look.
In that community is agreeing Q test is a lame tool, not persuasive enough, or I don't have the arguments.
Yeah,
Um,
you don't have the arguments. That's okay. That's okay, Tasteless. That's all right.
yeah, yeah.
Right. We've at least gotten to the bottom of this, right? And it seems that through all your bitching, right, it seems that you don't have a good understanding of what IQ tests are, what they test for, the methodology, any of it, right? So I'll tell
But,
you this. I'll tell you this as a
perhaps.
parting. I'll tell you this as a parting, right? And maybe I'll let you finish. You can get the last word in. I just say, right, if you want to have this conversation again, come back after doing a few days of research and looking at some actual, full studies that are peer reviewed from good sources about what an IQ test is. I suggest you start with Charles Murray's book, The Bell Curve.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest that you look at those articles I sent you, and then perhaps those people can make a better case that I can, and then perhaps you would see what I'm talking about. Um,
All right.
okay,
So
and
what I'll
then
do is I'll tell
we
you
can
what. I'll tell you what, we can both do our research, right? I'll read what you're doing. I'll ask you to read the bell curve, okay?
Yeah.
And we can both come back in like a few weeks or a month whenever we've both done our homework, and we can talk about it, okay?
Okay. Silent. One more thing. I want you to know your IQ test result.
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
You think I'm a liar, right? You said so in
No.
chat. You told
Your
me
word
that
for
you think I'm lying about what my real name is, right? You called me a liar.
No. I said you could be lying. Now I
You know
want
why?
you to
Why
know.
would you believe me if I could be lying? Why would I believe you about your results if you could be lying?
I just want to know.
Right. Well,
This
there's no point. There's no point, right?
is destructive, man. I'm being constructive.
Okay,
I
I
just want to.
understand, right? I understand. But I don't trust you, Tasteless, and you don't trust me either. So when we both, compare
But this isn't
dicks, hold
about
on,
trust, man.
Tasteless, hold on. When we both compare dicks, right, to see which one is bigger, right? Whoever is smaller is just going to say, I don't believe you. So there's nothing really
No.
constructive about it, right?
You're misunderstanding me, man. I am not doing it. In fact, I am not telling you what my IQ is. I just want to know yours.
Why would I tell you without you also telling me?
If you want me to tell you, I tell you. I mean, this isn't a dick pulling contest, man.
Right. Well,
I
why
just
do you
want to know.
why do you think it would be one-sided, right?
You want me to give you
Honestly,
the
you're just
reason.
wasting my time, right? I'm not going to tell you, not because I don't think it's larger, but because I think you'd lie. And you probably, based on what you
I
said in
won't
chat,
tell you.
hold on, Tasteless. And based on
Yeah.
what you told me in the chat, right, you think I'm disingenuous and a liar. So you won't believe me whatever I tell you. So
I
there's
am
no
saying
there's
that
no
you could be
constructivity to
lying.
this.
You are lying. I am saying you could. And in this case, I am willing for you to tell me whatever that is. I'm not going to question you. I'm not going to mock you. I am not trying to embarrass you or whatever.
Right.
I just want to know.
So sure,
I
I'll play the penis card, right? What's your IQ, Tasteless?
do you want to know mine? No, I won't tell you mine. I want to know
Oh, then
yours.
why would I tell you if you're not
All
gonna
right,
tell
both
me?
of you
This is
just
so
tell me
Okay, mine
stupid.
is one,
This
one,
is so
one,
stupid,
two,
right?
one.
This is
Mine.
so stupid, right? Why would I possibly tell you if you're not gonna tell me?
Opinion.
Motherfucker, I'm telling you.
Destroyer, he's going to tell you.
121.
Oh, 121?
And Destroyer, what is yours?
134.
134. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm sorry,
That's
you're
good.
both just
Now-
absolutely retarded. I can't listen to this anymore.
Pubis,
Please-
sure,
please
cool.
stop.
Who is this guy?
Now-
Come on, Phoebus.
Now,
Get outta here.
97.
I am going to
197.
make you an offer. Okay?
Why is this relevant?
I am going to make you an offer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I want you. Do you have a Skype?
I'm not gonna Skype with you
Why?
because you can get my IP off Skype, and I don't have the
I
energy to do VPN.
Whatever. Okay. Okay. You could set up a false account or whatever. I want to test. To be able to do that.
You cut out again.
I want you to give me to make me a favor and test something.
What? And test what?
What is he going to be testing?
What?
He's going to be taking a test,
An IQ test?
a different test.
What test?
What is the different test?
It's a different kind of test, and it's
And what does it test? Other than my
intelligence.
patience right now. All right, so it's a different kind of IQ test then. Thank you.
No, it's not an IQ test, but it's intelligence test.
Then it's an IQ test.
You'll be open to?
No, I'm not interested in getting on Skype with you, Tasteless.
Look, opinion. If it's a test that tests intelligence, then that would make it an IQ test. Even if it's a different kind of test,
No.
it still measures
no,
IQ,
because
and therefore it's an
IQ
IQ test.
Look, this
It's
is
a method,
pointless,
right?
right? Can we just mute him and just end the conversation now? This is pointless.
Headless. Would you be open to?
And what's the name of the test? What kind of test is it?
Oh, It's a surprise, man.
Yeah, that's retarded, right? What do you think these cheeky
Wow,
games
you're
are?
too defensive, man.
No,
Why-
where is the
why do you
defense,
need-
right?
Hold on, hold on.
I want to
Opinion?
embarrass you.
Why
in any
does
way.
it need to be done over Skype?
Because I won't let you. I have my reasons.
Oh yeah, you're done. You're
Okay,
done.